Welcome to Smart Conserver.
2 or so years ago, I did a vlog on leaking electricity, and it has been viewed by persons all over the world. As a matter of fact, every day since I uploaded it, someone watches that vlog. It seems as if persons are really interested in knowing if the possibility really exists for electricity to leak. Well, for those of you who are curious, or if you are new to the channel, let me tell you, yes, electricity can leak. An electricity leak occurs when the current flows from an AC or DC circuit to the ground or another conductor. For those who don't know what an AC or DC, what we're talking about right there, please visit other vlogs on the channel. It speaks to AC and DC. Now, note carefully that the electricity that we're talking about, it can flow through the human body. There are certain areas in the home that have a higher likelihood of electrical leakage. Now, these spaces are often used continuously. These may include outlets where appliances are plugged in, like the refrigerators or even extension cords. The most common cause of electrical leakage is when the current in your appliances crosses from the correct wire into the appliance or the earth wire. The current is then carried away to the earth, effectively causing your electricity to leak. This is common where the wiring of the house is old and it starts to disintegrate. It can also be due to bad wiring or even an old appliance that starts to break down. Electricity in the homes, it needs to be properly earthed, as if it's not, then the current that is leaking into the shell of the appliance can find its way into your body when you touch that appliance. It will then travel through your body before disappearing into the ground. And this happens when you touch it. You will feel that shock, but it just goes off into the ground. Now, don't think it's strange. Persons living in household have experienced leaking at times. Sadly, some persons, they don't realize the electricity in their homes are leaking until the bill arrives. Can you imagine the feeling when they get that huge electricity bill? Well, let's look at some of the ways that you can tell if your electricity is leaking at home. For one, which we already told you about, you are going to receive a larger electricity bill. So, I have told you about this one, getting an electricity bill, and which is really larger than what you're really used to. This in itself is a sign that something is wrong. And in fact, this is normally the first sign householders use to tell that they have an electricity leak or that something is wrong. But before you call in the electrician, you yourself can do a simple test. Don't worry, it's easy. All that is required are your hands, and you have to use your eyes. Here's what you can do. Turn off all the appliances that you have inside the house. In fact, plug them all out. Make sure that no lights are turned on. Don't worry, plug them out. It won't damage anything if you just plug them out for a few minutes. Now, prior to turning off and plugging out all devices, you should go to the meter and take a meter reading. Now if you have the old-fashioned meter, that's the one with the dials, then you're able to see the dials moving. If it is moving when you have plugged out everything inside the home, then you have an electricity leak. Should you have a more modern meter, like the smart meter, simply take the meter reading and leave everything off for about 30 minutes before you check it again. The reading should be exactly the same if you don't have an electrical leak. So, if the reading changes, then you need to call in that electrician. Please, you cannot solve an electrical leak yourself. You will have to get an electrician. Yes, it's gonna cost you, but the discovery of it in time will mean that you can quickly solve the problem and ease yourself from receiving another high light bill. The second one is you lose power. Now, this is another way that you can tell that there's an electricity leak. Most of us know where our electricity panel boxes are located, and sometimes we hear the power, it trip in these panel boxes, and a section of the house or even a room is without electricity. Sometimes it's the whole house or even just one appliance. Now, if this occurs, call the electrician. The electrician may have to check your wiring. The third way, shocks. Now, in the last vlog on electricity leakage, I told you that I'm literally afraid of plugging in anything, even up to this day. And that fear I told you, it started from I was a child growing up. I remember once plugging in the television that we had, and I got shocked through my body, and that caused me to just drop the plug and leave the room. Another time, just touching the appliance would cause that same shock. And as a matter of fact, when that happens, it's like the air on your body stands up. No, as a child, I didn't know what caused that shock throughout my body. It wasn't until years later that I realized that there was an electricity leak at home. Please, if any of your appliances or outlets that you have at home cause this shock, speak with the electrician. Something is wrong. There is an electricity leak. Now the fourth way is heat coming from the walls, ceiling, or even the flooring. We have electrical wires that are in our walls, running through pipes or whatever means that they are in the walls, the ceiling, or even the floors. Now, if these wires are defective or they may be chafed, then these may cause the walls, the ceiling, or even the flooring to emit a heat. This can be a sign that there is an electrical problem. This is another instance where you need to call that electrician. Electrical leakage is no joke, you know. It can cause fire. In the first vlog as well, I told you that years ago, I was at home and one of my neighbor's plug on the driveway was literally on fire. Sparks flew and popping sounds could be heard. All who watched, we stood helplessly. Luckily, the fire did not have anything to burn but the paint around the immediate area and the plug itself. When it all stopped, the area was black with soot. Can you imagine if there was something more flammable for that electricity spark to catch? Can you really imagine that? Now, I'm advising you, please use the suggestion, the causes, and the tips that I gave you to find out the first stage of that electricity leak if you should have it. Remember, you are not an electrician, so call one, and call that electrician so that the issues that you may have can be resolved quickly. Remember, it is going to affect your electricity bill. So call the electrician. Call the electrician now.
You have come to the end of another series. Join us next time for more ways to conserve.